Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have swatches for you from the newest release of the Nature Strong line from the brand OPI. I got my set from HP Beauty Bar, so in the description box I'll link the OPI site and Instagram page, I will link the HP Beauty Bar site and Instagram page, and then I will link my Instagram page where you can see more swatches of everything from today's video. I do also have an affiliate code with HP Beauty Bar. It'll be here on the screen as well as in the description box. So this release has 8 polishes in it, and let's go ahead and get started. So first we have kind of a twig deal, and this one is a dusty kind of pink toned nude shade. So here's our first coat of kind of a twig deal. This one is pretty opaque here on this first coat for being such a light color, but it does match my skin tone really nicely. So depending on your application, your skin tone, it looks less patchy on me because it's very close to my skin tone. So all of the elements, I do see a potential need for 3 coats on this one, but I was happy at 2. The formula is very smooth and very easy to work with. It is going to dry glossy all on its own. I do recommend using a top coat just to protect your manicure. Make sure nothing chips prematurely, and since there is no extreme pigments in here, I also didn't have any kind of staining. This is a perfect mannequin color for me, and there are 2 coats of kind of a twig deal. Next up we have a kick in the bud, and this one is a rose pink cream. Here's our first coat of a kick in the bud. This one is very opaque here on this first coat and very even. However, it does have a more kind of squishy jelly feel to it. I did get full opacity in 2 coats. I think it's a pretty solid 2-coater. You could do 3 for more of a squishy look on the nail, but I didn't see any visible nail line after 2 coats. I also didn't have any staining with this one. Sometimes neon pigments do have a tendency to stain. I had a fuzzy, my bad. But I didn't have any kind of staining for my swatch. A base coat will prevent staining just in general if you're more prone to staining, so I do think that's a great idea. This is going to dry nice and glossy all on its own, but again, that top coat will help keep your manicure lasting to its fullest potential. So there are 2 coats of a kick in the bud. Next up we have Be the Change, and this one is a nacho cheese orange cream. Here's our first coat of Be the Change. This one has very much the same kind of formula as a kick in the bud did, where it's a more squishy, jelly-ish application, but this one is a little bit more patchy, not quite as plump as that last one, so I did need 3 full coats on this polish. Not to be surprised at all for that. Orange polishes in general can be a little bit more patchy and sheer, and the fact that it's a jelly just made it more solid that I needed 3 coats. If you're super careful and not super picky, you might be a-okay with 2. But the formula is, again, excellent. No running, no pulling, no staining. I had no trouble with application whatsoever, and just like the last ones, this one is going to dry nice and glossy all on its own. A top coat does help prevent premature chipping, so I do bear that in mind with every manicure. This one, for some reason, really screams pumpkin-y fall to me, even though it's so bright and so beautiful. So there are 3 coats of Be the Change. Up next we have Leaf by Example, and this one is a kind of Kelly green leaning cream. Here's our first coat of Leaf by Example. This one is very creamy, very buttery, very beautiful green polish for the springtime. I am in love with this color on me. It is pretty opaque here on this first coat, just patchy, so I did need 2 coats to build this one up to full opacity, and I had no issues with staining. Greens do sometimes have the tendency to stain though, so if you are a stainer and have porous nails, a base coat is really going to save your nail beds. Again, I got full opacity here in just 2 coats. I do recommend using that top coat again. It is going to dry nice and glossy, but that top coat will really make the difference in premature chipping. So there are 2 coats of Leaf by Example. Up next we have a Big Bluetiful Planet, and this one is a Robin's Egg Blue Cream. So here's our first coat of Big Bluetiful Planet. This one is a little bit sheer and patchy here on this first coat, but it is very bright and a very beautiful blue cream. This is probably the top pick of the collection for me. There are a lot of good, solid creams in this collection, and a lot of them aren't just your standard, like there's a lot of bright blue polishes out there, but this one is just really bright, really eye-searing, and a very good formula. So if you don't have something like this in your collection, or really any of these, I do think they are all very solid creams. I got full coverage here in 2 coats. Depending on your application, this one was right on the edge of needing 3 for me. So there are 2 coats of Big Bluetiful Planet. Up next we have Glowing Places, and this one is a champagne metallic foil. Here's our first coat of Glowing Places. This is so stunning. This, to me, says like a Christmas manicure, but also like a summer manicure, but also like springy. So this is a true all year long polish to me, but it also is kind of special occasion-y. 2 coats did cover really, really well. I did opt to go in for 3 coats just because at certain angles I could still see a hint of my nail line and I wasn't sure how well that would translate on camera. It's really a hit or miss. Sometimes 2 coats looks full coverage when it's not, and sometimes it looks like it needs 3 when it doesn't. So just to cover my bases, I went in with 3, but I was happy in 2. This is nice and reflective, but I had no brush strokes through the shimmer as it dried, and it will dry nice and glossy, and removal will be easy. So there are 3 coats of Glowing Places. Up next we have Mind Full of Glitter, and this one is a kind of metallic champagne base again, but it does have a strong purple shimmer, and then it has gold metallic glitter. Now this is where the collection kind of takes a turn for me. I really loved these in the bottle, and I didn't hate them on the nail the last 2 polishes in this collection, but they just didn't translate onto my nail like they did in the bottle. So it was a little bit of a letdown, but again, I don't hate them. This is Mindful of Matter. The formula is good. It does have a good glitter to base ratio, and that shimmer is absolutely stunning, and it doesn't have that kind of pineapples have peelings to feeling to it where it's like, what happened here? But it just wasn't there for me. Maybe as a topper. I'll put some photos in of these as toppers as well, just on a nail wheel. This is going to dry with some texture, so you'll want some top coat, and removal will take a little bit of scrubbing, but there are 3 coats. And lastly for today we have Eco for it, and this one is a silver base, and it's got this blue metallic shimmer and then silver metallic glitter. And here's our first coat of Eco for it. This one I do like more than the last polish that we looked at that has the same kind of formula, but again, it just didn't look as cute on me as it does in the bottle. I do think these would be better as toppers. The formula on these are very good, not too thick or too thin, no running or pooling, and a nice even and easy distribution of the glitter. You'll want some top coat for this one. Again, it is glitter, so maybe something a little bit thicker, but I honestly didn't notice anything too significantly chunky to have to use something super thick. But it is glitter, so it is going to take some more scrubbing to remove. But there are 3 coats of Eco for it. And guys, that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of these polishes. Let me know if you plan on picking any of them up, and let me know what your favorite was. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time. Bye.